Okay, so next we're going to be taking a look at how you can go about changing and adjusting and removing color in Photoshop. Let's begin with opening our image. Go to Browse and Bridge. And the first image we're going to select is Forest. So let's select Forest. And when it comes to removing color in Photoshop, there are several ways of doing it. Some are better than others. First, I'm going to demonstrate a couple of different ways that you do not want to go about converting your image to black and white in Photoshop. The first is you do not want to go to Image, Adjustments, Desaturate. That is considered a very poor way of converting to black and white. Command Z to undo. Control Z if you are on a Windows machine. Next would be to go to your channels. Select a channel that you think is the best one. And then go up to Image, Mode, and Convert to Grayscale. That will discard the other channels. And you see that you don't necessarily see what you get until you do that conversion. This is also considered a very bad way of going about getting a good black and white. Alright, I'm going to Command Z to undo, turn all my channels back on, and go back to my Layers panel. Alright, so before I get started, the first thing I'm going to do is duplicate my background layer. So Command or Control J. And then I want to take a look at the black and white adjustments layer. To access that, you will go to the Adjustments panel. And there's a box in there that looks like it's half filled with black and half filled with white. And when you click on that, that is going to create a new black and white adjustment layer. So go ahead and select that, and you'll see my Properties panel for my adjustment layer pops up. Now, within my Properties panel, I can go through and I can individually adjust each of the colors. So you can go in and manually make selections to adjust how your black and white conversion looks within the panel. I can choose to do just auto, and if I select auto, it'll do an auto conversion for me. There's a drop down menu here, and I can go through and select different options from this preset menu. And you can see that it's going through and adjusting the contrast, density, and you see these sliders moving as it's adjusting individual colors. I'm going to leave it on default. Over here to the left, you can click and drag in the image to modify a slider if you want. So if I click this button, and then let's say I want to modify this part of the image, then what I would do is click and drag. Now if I click in a part of the image that has no color content and try to drag it, you'll see nothing's going to happen. Have to click on a part of the image that actually contains color information. And you see as I click in the image and drag to the left or right, I am able to make adjustments just based on that color. One more there. Maybe I want to darken some of this area here. And if nothing else, when you click in a certain part of the area, it's helpful to be able to see exactly what color that is. Whether you use the tool to slide within the image or you go ahead and go back into your Properties panel and make the adjustments there. So I'm going to deselect that by clicking on that. And right beside it is the Tint button. So if I click on Tint, you'll see that it automatically brings up a sepia color tone for me. And this is essentially a fake. What this does is it applies a fake duotone to the image. And so I can turn that on and off with the checkbox. I can change my duotone tint color by clicking in this box here. And I can go through and select different colors within my color picker. So it's very easy to get a custom duotone look. I'm going to cancel out of that. And I'm going to uncheck the tint box. Now down here at the bottom of the properties panel, you'll see where you can select to have the adjustments applied to all layers. You can also click to avoid the previous state. So you can also just click on this eye with the little arrow beside it to view the previous state. So if you want to see before and after. Right next to that is reset all of your sliders to the adjustment default. So if I click on that, you'll see all the defaults are reset. To the right of that is toggling the layer visibility. And then to the far right is the trash can. And if you've decided that you do not want to leave this adjustment layer with your image, you can click that and it will ask you if you're sure you want to delete the black and white. I'm going to go ahead and say yes, and it removes it from your layers panel. Okay, so now what you're going to do is go to page 331 in the book and follow the directions and convert this forest image to black and white. When you're through, you're going to name it 8A, your last name, _ forest.psd. Make sure it's placed in your chapter 8 folder and save that.